Good morning. Good to see all of you. It's been a crazy few days. Been spending time receiving the Indian Prime Minister to great excitement in the Valley, celebrating the Moon Festival with family and friends. I was trying to catch the blood moon a couple of nights ago. All I saw was the regular white moon. But thanks to YouTube, I think I saw the real deal. Hopefully you all had better luck. To being here this morning to talk about products, especially around computing, which is near and dear to my heart. Computing is the foundation of a lot of things we do. It's how users interface with technology. And for us, the way we do it is by investing in large, open ecosystems, platforms, which we build with everyone, and that helps us do this at scale. And the scale at which everything is working is pretty breathtaking to see. Just over a year ago at Google I/O, we announced Android had 1 billion 30-day active devices across the world. Fast forward to today, we now have 1.4 billion 30-day active devices, which we see in Android around the world. So we've added 400 million active devices, and the momentum is happening around the world, especially in emerging economies. In many, many places, in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam, Android has literally doubled in the last year. And what's exciting about this is, in most of these cases, these are people who are adopting a smartphone for the first time. So we are well on our way to bringing the next billion users online. We care about making sure there's entry-level, high-quality, affordable smartphones for these users as well, which is why we do Android One. We've expanded the program to many countries. We recently launched it in Turkey about a month ago, and General Mobile's Android One phone has been the best-selling phone in Turkey since then. We see the same momentum here in the US as well. If you look at education, by the end of this year, there'll be more Chromebooks than every other device combined in US schools. And we're beginning to see the same momentum outside of the US as well. In fact, in the US, we were looking at data in September. Every single day, there are 30,000 new Chromebooks which get activated. So 30,000 new kids for the first time, many of them for the first time, get access to computing in their schools. We want to serve companies as well. We announced Android for Work about a year ago, and already in the US, there are over 10,000 companies which are either testing, partially deployed, or fully deploying Android for Work. These include important institutions like the World Bank, US Army, Guardian Life, etc. This brings us to today. What we do every year is we try to push the state of the art and push the next generation of computing forward. And to do that, we build hardware. And the reason we build hardware is so that we can work together. As we build the next version of the operating system, we build the hardware along with our ecosystem partners so that we can guide the ecosystem forward. And we do that with our Nexus devices. You'll hear from the team about it today. This year, we've gone a step further. We have a more comprehensive lineup. We've thought about the range of what's possible. And more importantly, we've thought about how do we take it to market. We have thought about not just the purchase of these devices, the post-purchase experience. And you'll hear about that from the team. In addition, we've had a Pixel team whose goal has been slightly different. Their goal has been to build aspirational devices so that they can guide the ecosystem into newer areas. We did Pixel for the Chromebook to show what's possible for the Chromebook model with a touchscreen, new touchpads, and more recently, even USB-C. The same team has been hard at work for their first Android device, focused on productivity, and we call it the Pixel C, and you'll hear about it from the team today. We are, of course, thinking beyond phones and tablets. We've spoken before about the multi-screen world. Users have access to computing in several contexts throughout their day-to-day lives, including in the living room. We've taken a very different approach to computing in the living room. We do it using Chromecast, and it bets on the phone as the center of your experience. And the Chromecast team has a set of exciting updates for you as well. So in this multi-screen world, it's even more important for us as Google to do the hard work so that the user experience is simple and delightful for users. And increasingly, we do that by doing hard and deep computer science, deep learning, to make sure the end user experience is much easier on users. You'll see machine learning at work on either on Now on Tap or Google Photos, and a few other examples you'll hear about today. All of this matters to users only in the form of the end user experience they see. They care about the applications and services they use. And so we obviously work with many, many developers to bring all of this together. And Google Play is the ecosystem which brings all of this together for users. And that is working at scale as well. I'm excited to announce that today, Google Play is now over 1 billion 30-day active users. So the model is, again, working at scale. And this ecosystem is what makes everything we do possible. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the team to talk about what's up ahead. I know there have been some rumors, but hopefully we have a few things to share with you and help tell the end-to-end story. So with that, let me invite Dave Burke.
Thanks, Sundar. Nexus represents the latest in mobile technology directly from Google. It's the most advanced Android software built into innovative hardware developed jointly by Google and our device partners. And Nexus is Android as we've designed it, showcasing the very latest and best in material design and the newest Android software. And today, I'm super excited to announce not one, but two amazing new Nexus phones, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. So let's start with the Nexus 6P. Now, I've been using this device for several weeks, and I'm absolutely loving it. We partnered with Huawei to create the first ever full metal-bodied Nexus phone. It's crafted from aeronautical-grade anodized aluminum, and the phone is only 7.3 millimeters thin. And it has beautiful diamond-cut edges and a sculpted back that make it feel really comfortable to hold. The phone is available in 3 colors: frost white, aluminum, and graphite. Now, the Nexus 6P has an incredibly vibrant 5.7-inch WQHD AMOLED display. And we've maximized the area of the screen to be 74% of the overall device. So you get an amazingly immersive experience without the phone feeling too big. This is a 5.7-inch phone, but roughly the same size as many 5.5-inch devices. Now, inside, the phone packs the latest 64-bit processor, powered by an almost 3.5-amp-hour battery. The brand new USB Type-C port brings fast charging. So the Nexus 6P can charge fully in about half the time of an iPhone 6 Plus. And of course, Type-C gets you the much more convenient reversible plug, so no more guessing which way is up. You'll also notice the phone has stereo forward-facing speakers for crisp, clear sound. Now, the Nexus 6P has the best camera we've ever put into a Nexus device, a 12.3 megapixel Sony imaging sensor with enormous 1.55 micron pixels. The 6P can produce stunning images even in the toughest of lighting conditions. We've also incorporated a high-resolution 8-megapixel front-facing camera with HDR+, so you can get the world's best selfies on this phone. The 6P comes with Nexus Imprint, a seamless way of authenticating with your fingerprint. We put an incredibly fast and accurate fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone to complement the way you naturally hold it. One touch will effortlessly wake up the device for smooth, fast access. And of course, Nexus Imprint works seamlessly with Android Pay for making purchases in stores. The Nexus 6P runs the latest Android 6.0 software, codenamed Marshmallow. And like all Nexus devices, it receives the latest software and security updates directly from Google. OK, a few years back, we partnered with LG to build a Nexus 5. And this went on to become one of the most loved and popular Nexus phones we've ever launched. This year, we're happy to announce an update to this iconic phone with the all-new Nexus 5X. Now, the Nexus 5X offers top-of-the-line performance in a compact, affordable package. It has a beautiful 5.2-inch display, but it maintains the trademark screen-to-weight ratio, coming in at only 136 grams, which is amazing for a screen of this size. We've also increased the battery size by almost 20% to 2,700 milliamp hours, so the phone lasts even longer. Beneath the 5.2-inch display is a 64-bit processor, giving you world-class speed and performance. And the Nexus 5X has some of the same great hardware features you'll find in the Nexus 6P. So the 1.55 micron camera to capture more light, Nexus imprint for quick and secure access, and of course, USB Type-C for fast charging. The phone itself is available in carbon black, quartz white, and ice blue. So to learn a little bit more about both phones, let me walk you through a couple of key hardware features in more detail. So let's talk about camera. Modern flagship phones do pretty well for outdoor shots, but where they tend to struggle is with indoor photography in less than ideal lighting conditions. And that's ironic because people spend over 20 hours a day indoors. The new Nexus camera is great outdoors, but it's also optimized for indoor photography in 3 key ways. First, as I mentioned earlier, the 12.3 megapixel imaging sensor has very large 1.55 micron pixels, providing 92% more light collection efficiency than the original Nexus 6. Now, pixel size is not a dimension you usually hear people talk about, but it's really important to the quality of the picture. The larger the pixel size at a given density, the more photons of light the sensor can collect in tricky lighting conditions. And because the sensor collects more light, it allows us to run shorter exposure times, so you have less motion blur. So that, combined with the fact you get less handshake artifacts when you have larger pixels, means we obviate the need for OIS. In fact, this Sony imaging sensor was originally designed for camcorders and digital cameras and is unprecedented in a mobile phone. Second, we've chosen a fast closed-loop autofocus technology optimized for low-light conditions. The Nexus 6P has a laser detect autofocus system which uses a time-of-flight IR laser to enable instant autofocus of close-by objects. And we've iterated and improved our HDR plus computational photography and added a new mode that automatically kicks in during low light. So let's compare the Nexus 6P against the original Nexus 6 and the iPhone 6s. With photos taken at about 23 minutes past sunset, the cameras are roughly comparable. Now, let's take a look at 37 minutes past sunset when things get darker, and you can clearly see a difference. In low-light environments, the Nexus 6P outperforms all of the other phones we've tested in terms of brightness, detail, less noise or graininess, and better tone mapping. And here's a couple of photos that Googlers have been able to take while out casually testing the phone. Some of these were just literally taken around the Google campus. It's an amazing camera. Also, new this year is slow-motion video, which is fun and great for action scenes. And kids like this one absolutely love being the subject of it. The Nexus 5X can capture 120 frames per second, and the Nexus 6P up to 240 frames per second. And the Google Photos app now allows you to edit the region of interest of the video to slow down. And of course, both phones naturally support 4K video resolution at normal rate. We've also added a new feature to the Nexus 6P, which we call Smart Burst. You simply hold down the shutter button to trigger, which captures bursts of images at a staggering 30 frames per second. Smart Burst lets you create fun animated GIFs of the moment, like this one, and you can automatically select the best image from the burst. Finally, being able to quickly capture a fleeting moment is important for mobile phone cameras. So we've added the ability for you to just double tap the power button to instantly launch the camera. Okay, so next, I'd like to talk to you about the new Android Sensor Hub. This is a dedicated low-power processor that connects directly to the phone's sensors and runs Google's unique sensor algorithms. Now, modern smartphones are evolving to become more aware of their environment, to move beyond questions like, where am I, to more nuanced things like, how familiar am I with this area, and what am I currently doing? Answering these questions requires processing large amounts of sensor data over time in a power-efficient way. By offloading sensor processing from the main CPU to the Android Sensor Hub, we're able to run at a fraction of the power budget. The Nexus 5X and 6P uses the sensor hub in a couple of innovative ways. So for example, the sensor hub performs advanced activity recognition. So it's smart enough to track your run or your biking as soon as you start, even with the screen off with minimal power overhead. The sensor hub can also detect when the phone is picked up and automatically activate the ambient display. And the ambient display shows you the time and any pending notifications on your lock screen in a low-power white on black display mode. From there, you can seamlessly touch the screen to go into a full power mode and interact with the notifications. So that's the Android Sensor Hub. I'd like to talk about another feature, another great hardware feature on these phones, and that's fingerprint. The Nexus 5X and 6P comes with Nexus Imprint, which makes unlocking the phones more convenient and secure and lets you accelerate payments and sign-in operations. Now, fingerprint sensors have been available on several devices in the Android ecosystem for a while, but Nexus Imprint implements the new fingerprint sensor support in Android 6.0 for the first time, which opens up fingerprint recognition to the entire app ecosystem. The Nexus Imprint sensor provides amazing performance. Registering a finger takes literally just a couple of seconds. Once trained, the sensor can recognize a single finger in less than 600 milliseconds. It's convenient and secure, and the sensor performs with an incredibly low false reject rate, so it almost never fails. What's really cool is that Nexus Imprint gets better over time. With each use, it learns more about your unique fingerprint. So to unlock my device with Nexus Imprint, all I have to do is tap the sensor at the back, and it simultaneously wakes up the app's processor and unlocks the phone. It's incredibly smooth and lightning fast. Fingerprint unlocking is super convenient when combined with Android Pay. So when you're in a store, simply touch the back of your phone to unlock, tap the payment terminal to complete your purchase. It's that easy. On the phone itself, you can use your fingerprint to simply and quickly authorize Play Store purchases. And we've been working with partners to integrate fingerprint support across a wide range of banking and commerce apps. OK, so let's switch gears for a moment and talk about some of the features of Marshmallow that really shine on the Nexus 5X and 6P. With Android 6.0 Marshmallow, we've gone back to the basics to focus on improving the core user experience. At Google I/O in May, we talked about some of the areas we polished, like text selection improvements, a new copy and paste floating bar, volume controls, and more. Now that we're done, I wanted to show you a few more examples of polish and craftsmanship that can be found throughout Marshmallow. So let's start with the lock screen. Now, we already have quick access to camera from the lock screen. In Marshmallow, we've extended quick access to Google Voice Search and Actions. So you just swipe from the left corner, and you get this beautiful material reveal animation, and then you can simply say what you want. For example, call Pichai Restaurant. You'll also notice the little charging indication on the lock screen, indicating that the phone is in fast charging mode, thanks to USB Type-C. And it's also estimating how much time the phone will take to charge. So let's unlock the phone. Now, one of the first things you'll notice is that we've reworked the window animations. So they follow the material design principle, where elements appear from their point of touch or interaction. When you touch a launcher icon, it expands outwards, and then it dismisses vertically downwards when you're done with it. So it feels intuitive and natural. We've also taken great care to simplify how heads-up notifications work. If you receive a heads-up notification, say an incoming text message, the notification now peaks down with a little bouncing animation to get your attention without disrupting your current task. You can easily push the notification back up to its hiding place, or you can swipe down to reveal the rest of the notification shade. Now the physics of notifications are truly consistent everywhere. Another area we polished and refined is the home screen. In Marshmallow, you can quickly scroll to find an app with the new A to Z indexing scheme, or indeed just instantly type the first letter or two to find the app. We've also added on-device intelligent prediction engine to learn your pattern of app launches over time and provide dynamic shortcuts at the top of the launcher for quick access. The phone learns your patterns, so it'll be able to show you apps you tend to launch at a certain time of day, say in the morning versus the evening, or in fact, apps you tend to launch in a specific sequence. And of course, with Marshmallow, we've radically changed the user permission model by greatly simplifying the number of permissions apps can ask for and only asking for permission the first time you try to use a feature, instead of asking during installation time. So, for example, let's say I launch Twitter and I want to tweet with an attached location. When I press the location button, the system presents a runtime permission for location, like so. Now, we've heard loud and clear from Android users that they feel some phones come installed with too much bloatware. With the new Nexus devices, we've reduced the number of preloaded apps on the phone to make the out-of-box experience cleaner and simpler. We've also developed a new system that moves over a quarter of our apps to a post-setup installation phase, which means they can be uninstalled just like any other apps. OK, so at Google I/O in May, we demoed a new feature we've been working on called Now on Tap. This feature is launching with the Nexus 5X and 6P, making our new phones not just faster, but also smarter. Now on Tap brings the power of Google search to whatever you're doing on the phone. You simply tap and hold the home button to get quick information and actions without leaving the app you're currently in. So Google draws on all of the resources of your phone to bring you the right information and apps for what you need in the moment. So let's take a look at this in action. Maya is here on stage to help me with a couple of demos. Maya, by the way, is the product manager behind the awesome Nexus imprint feature I showed earlier. OK, so let's say Maya is using WhatsApp, and she receives a message like so from a friend who's asking to meet at the Cascals restaurant at 7 p.m. From here, she can simply long press the home button to trigger Now on Tap to get information and quick access. Here, you can quickly see the restaurant's rating and how far away it is. Now on Tap is providing assistance on directions. There's a phone icon to directly call a restaurant, and even a Yelp icon to get reviews. Now on Tap is also providing a convenient option to directly create a calendar reminder event. And you can see if Maya then taps on the open table icon, she can directly book a table for the restaurant her friend had mentioned. It's super convenient. Now on Tap is a really innovative enhancement to Google Now's assistant capabilities. And like many of Google's services, it's based on a learning system, which gets better with usage over time. And we're excited to be able to get this out to users now and continue to iterate and improve it with regular updates via the Play Store. Another cool feature in Android is voice actions, which lets you use just your voice to perform actions such as sending a text message or setting an alarm. In Android 6.0, we've extended this feature to enable app developers to build conversational voice experiences directly into their own app. So let's take a look at an example. Maya has an updated version of the NPR app on her phone that supports the new voice interaction capabilities in Marshmallow. She's able to trigger the app and then interact with the app all by her voice. So let's take a look.
OK, Google, listen to NPR.
Here's the latest news. Would you like to resume the California report or catch up on the latest news?
Latest news.
OK, catching you up on the latest news.
This is Queena Kim, and you're listening to KQED Public Radio.
So what was cool here was the NPR app was able to ask a clarifying question to Maya to complete the voice action. So it's powerful and seamless. Both the Nexus 5X and 6P support always-on OK Google detection that works even when the screen is off, thanks to a hardware DSP. So any app can implement the new voice interaction capabilities to support this kind of hands-free use. OK, so let's move on and talk about battery. Our engineers have been working hard on optimizing battery life on Android for several years. With Marshmallow, we think we've made our biggest breakthrough to date. We've made Android smarter about how it manages power with the new doze mode. We're using significant motion detection to learn if a device has been left unattended for a period of time. In that case, we'll exponentially back off background activity to go into a deeper sleep state, yet still be able to respond to real-time messages. We've also optimized the system to prioritize the apps you use more frequently over those that you don't. The results in Marshmallow are pretty dramatic, and you'll especially notice the improvements if you leave your device down and forget to charge it overnight, for example. In fact, when the screen is off, the average battery life lasts 30% longer in Marshmallow on the first generation Nexus 5 and Nexus 6 devices. And these are extraordinary numbers to improve battery life by purely via software changes. And of course, the new Nexus 5X and 6P benefit from these power improvements in Marshmallow. OK, so finally, I'm happy to announce that Android 6.0 Marshmallow will begin rolling out to existing Nexus devices starting next week, including the Nexus 5, 6, 7, 9, and Nexus Player. Now, here's Sabrina to tell you more about where you can buy the new Nexus 5X and 6P. Thank you.
Thanks, Davey. The team is really excited to launch these two new Nexus phones. So I want to take a moment to tell you where you can actually buy them, and that's at the Google Store. Back in March, we launched the Google Store as the new home for the latest devices that work with Google, including Nexus phones and tablets, Chromecast, Chromebooks, Android Wear watches, and Nest products, not to mention the accessories that go with them. Now the Google Store is available in over 24 countries and 50 different languages. And we continue to work to make it easier for you to find and buy the hardware you're looking for. We're guessing the hardware you're looking for today might include our new phones. So let's talk details. Starting today, the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P will be available for pre-order on the Google Store in the US, UK, Ireland, and Japan, with more countries coming in the next few weeks. Outside the US, in addition to the Google Store, we're also partnering with leading retailers and carriers to sell both devices. In terms of pricing, the Nexus 5X starts at $379, and the Nexus 6P starts at $499. Both phones will begin shipping later in October. Both will be unlocked without tying you to a contract. Both will work across major networks in the US as well as internationally. And both come with a great new set of offers and services that I want to tell you more about now. First, all Nexus phones will come with a 90-day free subscription to Google Play Music. So you'll have access to over 35 million songs anytime you want. Second, all Nexus pre-orders in the US also include a $50 Play credit. So you can stock up on your favorite apps, games, and movies. And third, you'll now have the option to safeguard your phone with a new program we're launching called Nexus Protect. Nexus phones already include a 1-year manufacturer's warranty in the US. But with Nexus Protect, we're providing an additional year, so you have 2 years of coverage for mechanical breakdown. You'll also have 2 years of protection from accidental damage, which covers those drops, spills, and cracks we all worry about. Of course, one of the worst things about a broken phone is, well, not having a phone. So if something does happen, you can file a claim 24/7 and get a new device as early as the next business day. Nexus Protect costs $69 for the 5X and $89 for the 6P. It's launching in the US today, with more countries coming soon. Finally, for all you Project Fi fans out there, we're pleased to announce that the Nexus 5X and 6P are available on the Fi network. We launched Project Fi a few months ago to offer a fast, easy wireless experience and to drive innovation with leading partners like Sprint and T-Mobile. With today's announcement, Fi users will have a larger set of phones to choose from and still enjoy all the services that they love with Fi, including a high-quality connection that intelligently selects between multiple cell carriers and Wi-Fi, and a simple data plan that provides money back for unused data. It's still early days for Project Fi, but we're excited to add these 2 Nexus phones to the program. Visit the Project Fi site to learn more and to request an invite. And that's the Nexus update. 2 new great phones and a special set of offers and services. In addition to phones, the Google Store also includes a wide selection of Android Wear watches. From round to square, from traditional to sporty, one of the best things of working with device partners is that we're able to offer customers a lot of choices. Just a few weeks ago, we introduced a beautiful set of new watches from Huawei, Motorola, and Asus that you can see here. Each watch has an always-on display, so unlike some other smartwatches, you can tell the time all the time. And they all have batteries that will last you all day. All new watches work with both Android phones as well as iPhones, so even if you decide to buy your phone from someone else, you can still have your choice of watches. You can find them all today on the Google Store. That's our family of watches and a new family of Nexus phones. Of course, one of our hopes for all this technology is that it can help connect real families too. To tell you more about how we're thinking about the needs of families in the entertainment space, here's Eunice from the Google Play team.
Thanks, Sabrina. Families have been a big priority for Google Play this year. We've rolled out some things that make it an even better place for families to play together. Things like more prominently displayed content ratings for apps and games, improved tools that help make it easier for parents to decide what's right for their families, and an all-new way to find family-friendly content across movies and TV, apps, and books. And today, I'm excited to share how we're making our music experience better for families too. I was part of the Google Play music team when we first launched in 2011. And we've added some great features based on feedback from our users. And I want to share some of the work we've been doing on one of our most requested features, one that I've personally wanted for a while too. Let me tell you a bit more about my family to explain why. When I was in college in New York, I fell in love with East Coast hip hop, Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, and P. Diddy. And I still come back to that music today on Google Play, whether I'm just kicking back with Biggie Radio or building out playlists with all of my old favorites. But my husband, well, he's a few years older than I am, so his tastes are a bit different. He was emo before there was even a name for that. And he still occasionally returns to 80s favorites like The Smiths, Depeche Mode, and The Cure. So we're both big music fans, which is why we have 2 Google Play Music accounts. We often listen at the same time on each of our devices, whether I'm at the office or he's out for a run, and we like music that's tailored to the stuff that we like. For families like ours, and for many more, I'm excited to announce the Google Play Music Family Plan. Starting later this year, families will be able to subscribe to Google Play Music together for just $14.99 per month for 6 people. With this offer, families can unlock the same value that they would get from individual subscriptions for just one low price. So what will this look like for us? Well, like a lot of families, we've got a bunch of devices at this point. All of us have phones, we've got a tablet, laptops for work and for school, a TV with a Chromecast, and so on. With the family plan, we can listen across all of them, and we won't interrupt each other's experience. And we'll keep getting music that's personalized to each of us. So while I'm getting ready to work out with Entering Beast Mode Radio, my husband can help him discover more music that lets him wallow in self-pity. And now, with the family plan, we can afford to give our daughter access to her own account so she can enjoy Demi Lovato and Kelly Clarkson to her heart's content. This is going to be awesome for our family. We're putting the finishing touches on the product, so look for the family plan later this year. Now, music is just one of the many areas where we're doing more for families. I'd like to hand it over to Anil, who's going to talk about some of the new features we've been building for Google Photos.
Photos play a powerful role in bringing families together. There's nothing quite like that feeling of reminiscing over an old family album or the joy of creating and sharing new memories. 4 months ago, we launched Google Photos, and people love the product. We've seen tremendous adoption. In fact, in the short time since launch, people have already uploaded over 50 billion photos and videos. Google Photos was built from the ground up, centered on 3 big ideas: a home for all your photos and videos, organized and brought to life so that you can share and save what matters. Today, I'm excited to announce 3 new features we've been working on to make it easy for you to share, relive, and hold on to the moments that matter with the people that matter. First, I'd like to talk about a feature that's near and dear to my heart. My wife, Jess, and I have a young family, which means we both take a lot of photos and videos. We each have a library of memories, often of the same event, and they're on 2 different devices, with no easy way to pull them together. Not only that, but our parents keep asking us for photos of the kids. And even though we have the best intentions, we often don't get around to sharing because it's just too hard. Mind you, this is the exact same problem whether you're a family or a group of friends that went to a party together. How do you easily pool photos and videos into a single shared album that everyone can hold on to? How do people get notified when new photos and videos have been added? And most importantly, how do you do those 2 things in a way that requires no setup and works across any device, no matter what you have? Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, Chrome OS, you name it. Well, let me show you. Here, we have my phone. I have a bunch of photos and videos from a recent family trip where we went apple picking. I've created an album, and let's say I want to share these with my wife, Jess. With Google Photos, this is really easy. I just tap the share button. I'll pick any app. In this case, we'll pick Hangouts. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll send her the link. Now, this part isn't new. This no strings attached sharing has always been part of Google Photos. Now, on this side, we have Jess's iPhone. She's going to get my message, tap the link, and here's what she sees. Jess can now tap the plus button in the upper right-hand corner and easily add her photos and videos to the same album. These are the ones she took that day on her device. Notice, I'm actually in these photos. You can see me there in the blue shirt. If we go back to my phone, you'll see that I've been notified that Jess has added photos to the album. And if I tap on that notification, I'm taken right back to the album, and I can see exactly which ones she added by the name attribution that's on the bottom of every photo. Jess and I now have a single place that has all the photos from the day, and we will both be notified anytime either of us adds photos and videos. This is a core part of the Google Photos mission. We want to make it easy for you to hold on to the memories that matter, even when you weren't the one holding on to the camera. Now, I know my mom would love to see these photos of her grandkids too. So let me go ahead and send her the link. This time, I'll pop in an inbox. I'll pick a draft I already have ready, paste the link, and then we'll go ahead and tap send. If we go onto this side now, you're looking at my mom's tablet. She's going to go ahead and open up my email, tap on the link, and this again will bring up all the photos and videos that Jess and I have shared in this album. Now, my mom wasn't with us at the apple orchard, so she doesn't have any photos to add, but she wants to be notified every time Jess or I add new photos to the same shared album. So she's simply going to tap join in the bottom right-hand corner. And what this does is it subscribes her to the album, and it lets her receive notifications anytime new photos and videos are added. If we go back to my phone, you'll see that I've been notified that Mom has joined the album, in theory. All right. Well, normally I would get a notification that tells me that she's seen it and that I know that she's actually viewed the photos and she's telling me she wants me to send her more. So it just so happens that a few days after, we had a little family bake-off, and I'm just going to go ahead and add these new photos and videos to the same album. And let's see what happens. Now, back on my mom's tablet, we should see a notification that I've added new photos. It looks like with the demo, we're having a little trouble getting the notifications through. But she'll get a notification. There it is. And she's going to go ahead and open up that shared album. And now she can see all the photos from the album, including the ones I just added. That's an early preview of Google Photos shared albums, a new, easy way to pool photos and videos and get updates with no setup on any device. Shared albums will be available later this year. Next, let's talk about the challenge of finding and sharing that one photo. With Google Photos, we didn't want to just build any Photos app. but rather lean on Google's strengths in organizing information. By harnessing the power of machine learning, we've made it possible to automatically organize your photos and videos around what matters to you. For example, you can quickly find all the photos of a single person in your library. But what happens if you have 150 photos of your mom and you just want to find that one photo of her from that trip to Hawaii in 2008? Or in my case, I often want to see photos that have both my daughters in them. So how do I search for photos of Ava and Lily together? To enable these powerful searches, this week we're rolling out the ability for you to label the important people in your life. You can now give them any name you like: James Ward, Maggie, Mom. The choice is yours. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about that crazy cousin I have who insists that I always call him Dutch Thunder? You can do that too. These labels are 100% private to you. Once you've added these labels, you can now perform powerful compound searches like this one. Here, I search for Maggie hiking. So rather than seeing all the photos of Maggie or all the photos I have of hiking, now I get a much smaller set of results that match both. Dad at the baseball game, Aunt May and Uncle Jerry skiing, Dutch Thunder at the beach in Cancun. It's now that much easier to find and share the exact photos that you're looking for. This feature will be available on Android this week and is coming very soon to web and iOS. Finally, let's talk about those times when you want to share photos and videos with the people closest to you. And by closest to you, I mean literally closest to you, as in they're in the same room. Say you're at home, hanging out with the family, talking about that epic day you had at the skate park. You quickly pull up the photos and videos, but then what? Your phone gets passed around, or everyone huddles around your small screen, but no one can actually see or hear. Meanwhile, your TV is sitting 10 feet away, turned off, almost as if it's mocking you. Well, no more. We're bringing Chromecast to photos. Let's take a look. Here again, we have my phone, and on this side, we have a TV connected to Cast. The Photos app has detected that a Cast device is nearby, so we'll just tap the button, select the device, and you'll see we're ready to go. When I tap into a photo, it immediately shows up on the TV. I can swipe through my photos and videos, and they will automatically update on the big screen. I can even cast an animated GIF. Let's say I want to find a different photo to cast. On my phone, I can leave the full screen view, scrub through my library, zoom out. I can look at my albums. I can even do a search. Notice this whole time, the last photo I casted is still up on the big screen for everyone to look at, even though I'm navigating my library. Unlike mirroring, this lets me control which photos and videos I cast. So you don't have to worry about sharing your screen while you're searching your library for that next photo. What if your photos and videos haven't yet been backed up? No problem. If we go to the top of my library, you'll see a few photos I took this morning. And if you notice the cloud with the slash through them, this is designating that these photos haven't yet been backed up to my Google Photos account. They're purely local to the device, but I can still cast them. Chromecast in Photos is rolling out this week on Android and very soon to iOS. Photos are just one of the ways that we're making it even easier to bring people together around the biggest screen in the house. To talk a little bit more about how we're continuing to evolve the living room experience, I'd like to invite Mario from the Chromecast team.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil. Let's continue with TV and home entertainment. We introduced Chromecast in July of 2013 based on the simple premise that the smartphone, powerful and familiar, is increasingly at the center of how we manage our lives, including accessing TV shows, movies, music, games, and more. Chromecast allows you to bring apps to the TV simply by extending the mobile apps you already have on your phone to the big screen. Your mobile apps have the latest features. You're already logged in. They know your preferences. Connect them to Chromecast, and your phone becomes your best remote. And our vision doesn't stop at TVs. 50% of audio listening takes place in the home. Our technology allows us to go beyond the TV screen to your other home entertainment devices, including speakers. And what about content? Since the launch of the original Chromecast, thousands of Android, iOS, and web apps have been published with support for Cast. The pace of apps launching on Chromecast is accelerating. Pick from over 200,000 TV shows and movies from premium providers like HBO and Comedy Central. I'm excited to announce that starting today, Showtime is bringing all of its content to Chromecast. And Cast support will also be available from Sling TV in the next few weeks, and many other video services will follow. In sports, we offer many of the top leagues and networks. I enjoy MLB At Bat, CBS Sports, and lots of others. And I'm really excited about Cast support coming this fall to apps from the NBA, NHL, beIN Sports, and many more partners. In music, we can stream more than 35 million songs, radio stations, and podcasts. In family apps, there's a ton of great entertainment for the kids and games on the big screen for everybody in the home. One exciting aspect of the Cast model is how apps are using the smartphone to enhance what's streaming on the TV. For example, with the recently launched NFL Sunday Ticket by DirecTV, while a game is streaming on the TV through Chromecast, you can easily browse rich information on the device in your hand without disruptive overlays on the TV. You can also very easily look for another game to flip to or discover that there is a fantasy zone that you can go to. A great experience across screens. With the Cast model, apps run on your phone and get extended to the TV. By taking advantage of the superior computing power of the smartphone, we free ourselves to optimize the hardware design of Chromecast for streaming and connectivity. We can deliver great capabilities at a very inexpensive price. Couple that with practically unlimited entertainment, and you have happy users and sales momentum. Today, we're excited to announce that we have passed 20 million total Chromecast sales globally. That's in a fraction of the time of any product in the category. Google designs Chromecast hardware in tight coupling with software to deliver fast and polished experiences. Today, we're also very happy to announce two beautiful, brand new Chromecast products. First, the new Chromecast. We've redesigned Chromecast to bring a modern new look. You'll notice the industrial design that sets the new Chromecast apart from other form factors. The integrated HDMI cable makes it easy for you to take it with you on the go. In addition to black, we're offering Chromecast in two fun colors, lemonade and coral. I have one of the new Chromecasts right here. Here it is. The small size of the new Chromecast allows for it to hide behind the TV so that it doesn't clutter your living room. The integrated HDMI cable makes it really easy for you to plug it into virtually any TV, especially if you have crowded ports. Just as important, the new Chromecast hardware delivers significantly improved Wi-Fi performance. We now support 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, as well, dual band 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, as well as 802.11 AC to take advantage of the latest home networking technologies. We designed an entirely new adaptive antenna system, which includes 3 very efficient antennas and an algorithm that ensures that the Wi-Fi chip is always using the best antenna and radio frequency for the changing Wi-Fi conditions in the home. Take a look at the data that compares the original Chromecast in light blue here with competitive products of the same form factor. As Wi-Fi goes from strong to weak, throughput drops across all of the devices. Now let's add the data for the new Chromecast. Wi-Fi performance of the new Chromecast is significantly better across the entire range of conditions. The new Chromecast can sustain the flow of more data, which means higher quality video and audio, less buffering, and a superior experience. The second beautiful new Chromecast product we're announcing today is Chromecast Audio. There's a huge opportunity to bring a great audio streaming experience to your existing speakers. Fewer than 5% of US households have speakers that can connect to the internet. Chromecast Audio is a small device that plugs into an existing home speaker and streams audio through Wi-Fi from your favorite Cast-enabled apps. We've brought the personality of the new design with the circular shape also to Chromecast Audio. I love the concentric grooves around the Chrome ball as a salute to the vinyl record. The lemonade-colored audio cable adds a modern look to your speaker arrangement. Inside, you have the same adaptive antenna system as the new Chromecast for optimal Wi-Fi performance. Just connect the audio cable to the 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input of your existing speaker. We also support RCA and optical inputs. Just like Chromecast, it's really simple to set up. Plug it into power, connect to Wi-Fi, and you're ready to cast. With the new Chromecast and Chromecast Audio, you now have a simple and consistent way to amplify your entertainment to the biggest and loudest devices in the home. I'm going to ask Rishi to join Adam on stage to show you how these new devices work.
Thanks, Mario. All right, Adam and I are excited to show you these new products in action. So let's start with the new Chromecast. Now, we showed you a lot of the hardware improvements we've made. Now we're going to talk to you about some of the software improvements. And that starts with content discovery. So Chromecast over the last years had many, many new apps come. And the app model works great. When you know which app to go to, simply press the cast button and start watching. But what about those moments when you don't know what to watch, or you don't know where to find it? So today, we're excited to announce a completely redesigned Chromecast app for Android and iOS that'll help you navigate all these great content options. So let's show it to you. So Adam will open up the new Chromecast app, and we'll start with What's On. With What's On, we've partnered with many top content apps to give you a single place to view all your featured content. Think of it as a central home for all your entertainment options. So now in one view, I can see what's trending on YouTube today, the most popular episodes from Hulu, latest movie rentals from Google Play Movies, or what's live streaming right now on sports on Watch ESPN. Now, we only show you content from the apps you have installed on your phone, so everything here is accessible to you. And we'll continue to add more personalization options over time. Now, we've also heard from a lot of our users that they don't know which of their mobile apps work with Chromecast. So now we give a simple view of all your Cast-enabled apps. So now let's go watch something. So I was playing with the app, and I came across a show called Black Sails. So let's go ahead and select that while we bring up the Chromecast behind me. Now you can see it's executive produced by Michael Bay, so it's got to have a lot of explosions in it. So let's go ahead and watch this. Now it's going to link us directly into the Stars app, right to Black Sails. We'll even present an option for you to select which Chromecast you want to send it to. So let's go ahead and select play. And as you expect with Chromecast, we'll be streaming in full HD from the cloud.
That may be wholly unprepared for. I always thought this journey would end in battle. But now, as it turns out,
looks great. So now I can go add this to my Stars playlist if I want to, or I can go back to the Chromecast app and actually go find something else to watch, all without disrupting what's actually playing on the TV screen. It's a much better model. So that's a quick recap of what's on. So now let's talk about the new Devices tab. With devices, we want to make it easy to control Chromecast from anywhere. So we added playback controls: pause play, stop casting, change volume. So now any device on your home network can be a remote control for Chromecast. It works great when you have friends over. They can use their own phones to actually pause the playback. So now we'll quickly go to Get Apps. We have thousands of apps that have been Cast-enabled and many more coming all the time. So we need a better app discovery process. So we redesigned the page completely. And here you'll find new recommendations, new apps, even new offers. So we encourage you to check it out. So now let's talk about search. With search, we want to make it easy for you to find your stuff across all the different Cast-enabled apps. So for example, I had heard the X-Files is coming back to network television, so I want to catch up on the old episodes. But I didn't know where to do it. So now I can type in X-Files, or since I'm using my phone, I can just use voice search.
X-Files.
So you'll see X-Files returns to TV shows and movies. Let's go ahead and pick the TV show. And here we'll tell you all the places you can watch it on Chromecast. Now, since I have Netflix and Hulu already installed, I can start watching it right away. But if I don't have that, we'll help you get it. Now, we're indexing many of the top content partners, including Netflix, Hulu, HBO, CBS, Fox, Comedy Central, Crackle, and more. And we'll be continuously adding more over time. Now, the other cool thing is I can go back to the search results page and also see related YouTube content, movie clips, interviews with the cast, trailers, and more. So it's a lot of fun. So that's a really quick recap of the new Chromecast app. We really think it's going to help you find great stuff to watch on Chromecast. This will be rolling out over the next few weeks on Android and iOS. OK, so now we talked about making it easy to find stuff. How about making it even faster to load? One of the challenges of streaming devices today is that when you want to watch something, you have to wait tens of seconds for the app to load and the video to buffer. We need to do better. It needs to be faster than even live TV. So we're announcing a new capability called Fast Play. This allows content developers to start prefetching apps and content on Chromecast the moment you open the app on your phone. So let me show you how well this works with Netflix. So we have two Chromecasts here, one with Fast Play and one without, so you can actually do a comparison. So the moment you open the Netflix app, Netflix is automatically detecting the Chromecast on the network and is silently preloading the app. So by the time you click the cast button, it's already there. It's much faster. In fact, in our field test, we actually see it reduces app load time by 80%. But Netflix can go even further by using content caching algorithms to predict what you want to watch before you even hit play. So let's do a search for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And what you'll find is Netflix already knows I've watched the first episode, so they're smartly downloading a small segment of the next episode. So by the time I scroll down and hit play, the video is already loaded. No more buffering. It totally changes a streaming experience.
Listen up. I'm listening. Good.
Now, we're going to roll this out to all content partners. Many of the improvements will be rolling out today, with content prediction features rolling out early next year. We're really excited. So now let's talk about gaming. Gaming is obviously a very big part of the living room experience. But one of the challenges is that gamers are always looking for the latest and greatest hardware. So what does that mean for a product like Chromecast, which is designed to be simple and lightweight? Well, fortunately, we can take advantage of the most powerful gaming device in many people's homes today, their smartphone. So at Google I/O, we launched new developer tools called the Remote Display APIs. This allows a game developer to take their existing mobile game and now render two screens. One screen plays locally on the phone. The other screen is then sent to Chromecast. So effectively, the entire experience is being driven by your powerful phone. So let me show you a real example with Angry Birds Go, a popular racing game. So Adam has already cast the game to Chromecast, and you can see the phone does an amazing job of rendering the game. Angry Birds Go is just much better on the big screen. Now for this demo, Adam's using an iPhone. We released the Remote Display APIs for Android and iOS, so everyone can join in the fun. And the other really cool thing is that Adam's using the accelerometer of the phone to control the racetrack. Game developers can take full advantage of the capabilities of the phone, whether it be accelerometer, gyroscope, touch, even a camera. Turns out the phone is just the best game controller, and it will continue to get better as you upgrade your phone. Now, Angry Birds Go also supports a multiplayer mode, and it's really simple to set up because as long as your friend has a phone, they have their own game controller with them. Now, this is one of several games we're releasing over the next few months. Another interesting game is WGT Golf, a personal favorite of mine. It looks amazing on the big screen. Another one is Monopoly Here and Now, where you can play 4 players simultaneously. It's a lot of fun for the family. We think Remote Display can unlock thousands of mobile games into the living room. We're excited to see where developers go with it. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast. We're also announcing today new feeds coming to Backdrop, including support for 500 pixel and Getty Images. And for your personal photos, in addition to supporting Google Photos, we're also announcing support today for Facebook and Flickr. There's a lot of stuff we couldn't cover today, so we hope you'll try it out and see all the new improvements for yourself. The new Chromecast will be available starting today in 17 countries. And we're going to continue to offer it for the amazing price of $35. And for those of you who want color options, that will also be available starting today from the Google Store. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast. So now let's talk about Chromecast audio. So many of us invested a lot of money in our audio systems, but we have no simple way to connect them to the music we love, which lives on our phones. So with Chromecast audio, we can take your existing speakers and make them smart. So let's say I'm at home and I want to listen to my home speaker. So let's go ahead and bring up my Nexus device. The first thing you're going to notice is that Chromecast audio works with all the top audio apps that already work with Chromecast today, including Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. For now, let's open up Google Play Music, which is the app I use for my daily listening. So you'll see I'm already logged in. Now, Chromecast audio is automatically detected by Play Music, so we just simply press the cast button, and you see a new device type for speakers. You're going to see this is very familiar, right? We modeled it exactly after Chromecast. Regardless of whether you're casting to a television or to a speaker, we believe the experience should be simple and consistent. So let's go ahead and select the device. Here's a nice little audio confirmation that you're now connected. And that's it. We don't have a complicated pairing process. And now I can just listen to my tunes. We're streaming the highest quality audio through Wi-Fi to my old home speaker. And because I'm streaming from the cloud, we can get rid of all the hassles of Bluetooth. The music won't drain the battery on my phone. I can play on any speaker in any room in the house without losing audio. And I won't hear those annoying ringtones every time someone gives me a call. It's just a better experience. Now, with Chromecast audio, I can also control it from a variety of different ways with the lock screen, notification, or I can even go to my Android Wear Watch and skip to the next song in the playlist. Oops, I skipped one over. There we go. It's really cool. Now, of course, our home speakers are shared devices. It should be easy for anyone in the home to share their own music. So Chromecast audio automatically works with phones, tablets, and laptops that are connected to your home network. And we also support guest mode. So you can enable friends who don't have your Wi-Fi password to cast to speakers in the same room. So let's pretend my wife walks into the room and she wants to cast her Spotify playlist. Well, today we're excited to announce Spotify is supporting Chromecast and Chromecast audio. This will be rolling out to all new devices starting today and older generations of Chromecast over the next few weeks. So let's bring up my wife's phone, which happens to be an iPhone. Of course, with Google Cast, we're cross-platform. So regardless of whether you're an Android user, iOS user, or web user, you can cast your music to Chromecast audio. And now, just like we saw before, all my wife needs to do is press the cast button, select the device, and our music will transition from the phone to the speakers. It's really easy. And she can do this all from the Spotify app. She shouldn't have to learn a new app just because she wants to listen to music at home. It's the same app at work, in the car, and now at your house. Now, the other cool thing is Spotify can support multiple users at the same time. So let's say I want to skip to the next song in my wife's playlist. Well, it turns out I can use my own phone to do it. So let's bring back my Nexus device and open up Spotify. Spotify immediately detects what's playing on the home network and synchronize with the playlist. So now I can actually just swipe to go to the next song. It's really cool. Now, of course, this may start a few battles of which song to play next, but it's really easy. So that's a quick recap of the new Chromecast audio. Now, we're going to continue to bring more and more apps to Chromecast audio, but until then, we want to make it easy for you to send any audio to your speaker. So just like Chromecast, we're going to support the ability to mirror audio from your Android device or mirror audio from any Chrome tab on Windows, Mac, and Chromebook. So now you can send audiobooks, podcasts, local music, even YouTube videos right to your home speaker. We're also excited to announce that Chromecast Audio will support multi-room synchronization. This means I can play the same song across multiple speakers that have a Chromecast Audio in them. This will be rolling out later this year with an over-the-air update. Chromecast Audio will also be available starting today in 17 countries. And we're going to price it in the US for just $35. That's cheaper than a basic set of headphones. So now, you can either dust off those old speakers or connect it to new ones to get the best Wi-Fi audio experience. So that's our update today. 2 amazingly powerful products for the living room, available starting today for just $35. And 2 new Nexus devices, which showcase the best that Android has to offer. And of course, we connect these screens with our platforms and our apps, and we saw some great new options for families from photos and music. Now, before you go, we want to give you a sneak peek at one more device we've been working on. And with that, I'll introduce Andrew Bowers from the Pixel team.
Thanks, Rishi. So, as you've seen today, we're making life easier than ever to move between screens in your life, whether it's the phone in your pocket or the TV in your living room. And we've also been thinking about how to make other form factors easier to use, like tablets. Now, tablets are great for games, reading, or watching movies, but they often force you back to a laptop when you want to write a document or respond to a long email. And while there are plenty of keyboard accessories, they're often just that. They're accessories. They have cramped keyboards, require you to use them on a desk, or get in the way when you don't want to type. So this felt like an area that deserved taking a step back and rethinking from the ground up. Now, we've taken this first principles design approach before with the Chromebook Pixel, reimagining what an ideal laptop could be. And the Pixel line has yielded many great benefits, paving the way for new technology to enable the entire Google ecosystem. Let me give you just 2 examples, expounding on what Sundar mentioned earlier. A few years ago, we introduced a vastly improved touchpad architecture on the original Chromebook Pixel, both hardware and software, that's since rolled out to many Chromebooks from many manufacturers. Whereas before you had to spend $1,000 on a laptop to get a great touchpad, today you can buy a Chromebook for $150 and get a very similar experience. Another example is USB Type-C, which enables universal power, data, and display with one connector across your devices, whether it's a laptop or a phone. Earlier this year, we worked with the industry to introduce this standard, launched it on this year's Chromebook Pixel, and now it's making its way onto many devices, including the Nexus phones you saw earlier. So in the case of tablets, we ask ourselves, what would an ideal touch plus typing experience look like? Something where the screen and the keyboard complement each other to make the whole greater than the sum of its parts. The culmination of that effort is a new addition to the Pixel family, Pixel C, a new device running Android 6.0 Marshmallow. Now, if you're familiar with the Chromebook Pixel, you'll immediately see the family resemblance. It has the same clean lines and anodized aluminum design. There are no exposed screws and minimal distractions. Precision engineering means everything fits together with really tight tolerances, and it feels really sturdy and solid in your hands. Now, Pixel C, where the C stands for convertible, is an entirely new approach to combining a tablet and a keyboard. Closed, they're held together with self-aligning magnets. But when you're ready to get down to work, slide the tablet off, touch it to the back of the keyboard, and lift. The tablet attaches magnetically, and the screen is fully adjustable between 100 and 135 degrees. There's no kickstand or clasp mechanism to get in your way. The keyboard connects via Bluetooth, avoiding unsightly contacts on your tablet. And it's also really sturdy. I can hold it by the tablet. I can hold it by the keyboard. I can hold it upside down. It's very easy to use in your lap. You can use it on the bed. You can use it on the couch, wherever you want to use the device. Now, the Pixel C size is designed for usability of the keyboard without sacrificing its usability as a tablet. The screen size is 10.2 inches with a square root of 2 aspect ratio. Now, that's a metric area ratio that's used by A-series paper, of which A4 is the standard letter format throughout much of the world. And what this means is it's delightful to use in either portrait or landscape orientations, while at the same time giving us enough room for a full-size keyboard. Now, for context, a typical 13-inch laptop has a 19-millimeter pitch keyboard, where it pitches the distance center to center between two keys. On the Pixel C, we have an 18.8-millimeter pitch, almost the same, but within a much more portable 10-inch size. And we're able to do this by moving 5 less frequently used symbol keys from the edge of the keyboard to the on-screen keyboard. And this works because your hands are in very close proximity to the screen. Now, the Pixel C's keyboard has the same great feel as the Chromebook Pixel, 1.4-millimeter travel, very responsive force curve. We've tested the layout and the keyboard overall extensively and find it to be a really great touch typing experience. And it's not just for US layouts. This works for international keyboards as well. Now, while we do lots of typing, sometimes you just want to use the tablet itself, and the keyboard shouldn't get in the way in that case. So with the Pixel C, the keyboard attaches to the back of the tablet securely so that it's out of the way but close by. And unlike Bluetooth accessories, the Pixel C knows when to use the physical keyboard and when to use the on-screen keyboard. So I can enter in here on the screen, but then if I want to do more extensive typing, the keyboard's there for me. Now, it is a Bluetooth keyboard. It has a small battery, but you'll never have to charge it either. When closed, the tablet inductively charges the Pixel C's keyboard. Just a few minutes a day closed will keep the battery topped up. And if you don't close it for a while, don't worry. The keyboard will last for over 2 months of daily active usage without ever recharging. So this keyboard experience is really nice, but we think you're also going to like the tablet. The Pixel C's display lives up to its name with 308 pixels per inch. That's 4.6 million pixels if you're keeping count. It's super bright at 500 nits and has amazing sRGB color gamut. All of this while keeping the power low enough for great battery life on a tablet. Driving all of those pixels is an NVIDIA X1 quad-core processor with a desktop-class Maxwell GPU. Now, if you're familiar with graphics, you'll realize that's a lot of graphics horsepower in a mobile device. You'll see the games really shine. We've put stereo speakers on either side so that movies come to life as well. And with the adjustable angle screen, there's no more propping up your tablet on books or pillows to watch a movie. As you saw earlier, Marshmallow makes voice input even more powerful. And while a phone is often close by, you maybe leave your tablet on the coffee table or on a desk. So to enable far-field voice input, we've added 4 microphones. So now you can have voice interactions from across the room. Of course, the tablet charges with USB Type-C. And one of my favorite features for a quick check of battery life, double tap on the light bar. Now, all of the great Marshmallow features you saw earlier are here. And like our other Pixel devices, the Pixel C will get better over time, with software updates every 6 weeks. We think the Pixel C's tablet and keyboard experience really unlocks new ways to both play and be productive on one device. The Pixel C will be available in time for the holidays on the Google Store, starting at $499 for the tablet and $149 for the keyboard. We're really excited to be expanding the Pixel family to now span both Chromebooks as well as Android tablets. Like Nexus, Pixel pushes the boundaries of what's possible with technology, making the entire Google ecosystem better for our users. Expect to hear more about the Pixel C in the coming months. So we hope we've given you a good sense of what's to come today. We think you're going to like it. And with that, let me hand it back to Chelsea.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you all so much for joining us today, especially for everyone who joined us via live stream from around the world.